some information about the holy sacred armor, the spiritual armor. Now that people are starting to perform it, and I'm getting the feeling that they're having some powerful successes with it, I want to now give the next level of how to take what you've already been working on and give it a further refinement and lead it into its true and most powerful path. It's important to remember that it is the solar symbol, the solar intelligence, both the outer collective of the universal and the inner microcosmic solar intelligence, which are intrinsically linked, but that this spiritual energy is part of that solar intelligence. Now, that sounds redundant, but let me get into this. So, it is because the breastplate is the protection of your solar nature. I'm channeling this, and it's taking me off into a tangent, and I want to stay absolutely focused. So, your solar symbol, or your solar center, is the storehouse of your emotional, there it goes, that's okay, is the storehouse of your emotional energy, okay? All your emotional currents, your strongest emotional currents flow through your heart center, all right? And because of this, it is one of the most vulnerable psychic pathways into you personally, as well as the universal collective. But it is also where you are most powerful in presenting who you are. This is how you emotionally connect with other people. And it is the energetic center of the universe. And because your major energetic centers are purely seen as crossroads, which is what the sun represents a lot of the time, is a crossroad in the universe, your major energy centers in your body, at least where Western medicine is concerned, are also types of solar energies, even though it might be lunar, it might be solar, it might be Plutonian, it might be Earth-based, or it might be Uranian. These are crossroads that connect your body and make up individual different 4-quadrant subsections of different energies of worlds that you comprise. Does that make sense? Needless to say, your solar self, in the way that it relates to the heart center and to the solar plexus, are combined within the Western tradition. There is no separation. The solar plexus is the guard to the great treasure of your emotional storehouse, which is your heart center. So, your spiritual energy is comprised, your spiritual armor is comprised of solar energy. So, when you are performing the spiritual armor, first, now this is going to be slightly different than what you've done, but this is a refinement. Allow yourself to place gently your intentions on your heart center and on your solar plexus together collectively. And as you allow this to happen, allow a golden liquid to start to flow, like almost as though you were wounded with like the spear of Mars or something. Oh, weird. I don't know how this is connected at all. And allow this golden liquid to flow all throughout your body, covering yourself from head to toe and being made whole again, kind of like the Jupiterian cup. Wow, there's like there's some sort of like, I don't know, I guess you call it a tradition or a mystery here. As that golden energy, as that golden light, which should be highly radiant, surrounds your entire body, allow then an armor to appear in form. Now, again, don't force the appearance of this armor. Allow it to be what it needs to be. Its form will begin to suggest messages to you, but don't start looking into that too deeply quite yet. Just allow it to happen. The more you perform this, the more your physical reality will take on the appearance of you wearing armor. Now, does that mean that it means that you are triggering subconscious messages to the astral body that you are looking for it to be highly protected. No chinks in the armor, that your astral energy field is strong and powerful. And the image that comes without being forced of whatever your astral armor looks like, it could be the same, it might change, it doesn't really matter, is the most powerful vibrationally it needs to be. So if you want it to be samurai armor, but for whatever reason it is the armor worn by the paladins of Charlemagne, it needs to be that, because vibrationally your astral body is picking up on the type of attacks, the type of influences that it has pressed against it, and it is vibrationally showing you the most appropriate form geometrically, the shape, the angles, all those things to protect you from the influences that are coming against your heart center. That's a mouthful, but it's true. That is why you allow it to be what it needs to be, as opposed to trying to force your own perceptions that may or may not be extremely clear. Okay? Now, the second part is over the heart center. I want you to begin creating the solar cross. Okay? It'll go, this line goes across your chest, kind of where your nipples are, and this goes down the center line of your body, and then you have the Saturnine circle. This is showing that your higher self is growing past the physical boundaries of the Saturnine circle of what your physical body is. So your astral body is growing past the physical limitations, the perceived limitations of the physical body. Okay? That is very important that you begin to trigger that symbolic representation to the astral body. So the astral body knows it's time to begin to move into its higher self. Your awareness begins to move into your higher self, is really what I'm trying to say. Now, we are familiar, and in my tradition I actually have the real one. I earned these year by year. Okay? 12. It took me a year to earn the vibrations for each one. Let me really make, yeah, that's 12. Oh my gosh. Went to public school. Math is not good. So, it took me a year to earn each of the vibrational correspondences of the zodiac. And in my highest magical workings, I wear a talisman, a layman of the 12 energetic influences that continually beam into my heart center and then are refined and beam out, that are specific and unique to me. This plating is a protection. It makes sure that the energies that are flowing into me are refined and pure planetary energies, each according to the zodiac. So each 12 of these gemstones that are in mine, that are my own private, we'll go with the word amulet, is, or I guess you call it breastplate as well. I spent a year earning each. Now, I don't think we have 12 years. So, and I have been working very hard with the spirits of my house to allow for a process that you could do it in a month for each one, but after this threat has passed, then you would have to go through and spend a year earning each one if that was the case. Don't take that lightly, because I have had other people say they want to do this, begin the process, and I tell them that once you start, you cannot stop. Unfortunately, one of them was not quite as honest with me as he should have, and is now dealing with the ramifications of now trying to prevent this process that he swore to. It's not easy. Don't take this lightly. If you wish to go down this path, you can. Now that is to own the physical representation of it. What I have been taught also is you can begin to channel or focus the planetary energies of the zodiac into your heart sphere through this process and refine them and strengthen, but also purify the ones that come out of you that are sharply, uniquely you. And this will create a certain radiance, a resonance of your presence that people will begin to take notice. Like you were a solar entity or something, because people notice the sun. Oh, strange how this all stuff is linked. So, going down your left shoulder, coming down to kind of above your navel, and then going back up your right shoulder, you will have 12, count them, 12 zodiac symbols, okay? I would begin to look at which colors are most representative of you. You can use the gemstone, you can use the rainbow wand. I would rather at this point for you to look up the astrological correspondences of each zodiac and to apply the symbols that you find most useful to you. Now, how do you do this? Now, this does take a little bit of time. After you allow the golden liquid to just simply spread all around your body, like a protective coating, front and back, all the crevices in between, okay? And then come into a state of wholeness of a complete set of armor with no chinks whatsoever, and allow a radiant white cross to go across your nipples and down the front of your body, and allow this circle that is around your heart center, which comprises both your solar plexus and your heart center. Then you can begin to intone like you would vibrate the planetary names of Aries, and see the symbol for Aries appear. And then, of course, go to Taurus, okay? Gemini, Cancer, Leo, so on, so forth, all right? Until you have all 12 imprinted and appears to be carved in the appropriate color that is best for you on your solar armor, or on the breastplate of your solar armor. This will help deflect and protect you from a lot of different planetary pathways into your emotional storehouse, okay? There are many different avenues which you can magically disrupt, attack, and even really kill someone. And this is a way to say that I am protected against these different avenues, and I radiate a shimmering brilliance with the rainbow color of this zodiac forms, so that you can attract the people that you want and deflect the energies and influences that you don't. So this is part 2 of the spiritual armor refinement process. If you have any questions, email me. I'll do my best to get back to you. I know sometimes I'm available and unavailable and whatnot, but take this, begin to use it, experiment with it, with the colors and things, and just see how it begins to manifest in your life. I think you'll greatly enjoy what happens, and because your powers of astral imagery are going to be heightened and sharpened, your ability to astral project will be better. Now, here's an important thing. Astral projection is about relaxing and letting it go. Relaxation, remember that word, relaxation, and the bird of paradise comes only to an open hand. So, if you are trying to force and clench and grab with all your might, astrally projecting or trying to force it, it's not going to work. If you're straining, it's highly counterproductive to relaxing. You need to find one way, if it's allowing yourself to float out of your body or climbing the rope or whatever, you have to simply allow it. You have to lay there and just let it occur. If you try to force it or if you want it too bad, it's not going to happen. You have to I am getting to the point where I can consciously, almost at will, when I am in a certain state, astrally project. And that's 20 years in, okay? This is 20 years in. Most of the time I've had to do lucid dreaming, to realize I was dreaming, of course, and then project out. Now I'm getting to the stage where I'm starting to just simply allow it to happen, and my intentions and the pathways and my belief system, which all coalesce into a tradition. This is why a tradition is extremely important. My tradition, my reality allows for astral projection to happen. Okay? Take that to heart. My tradition allows for astral projection to happen. Does yours? Something to ponder. But if you're trying to force it, it will not happen. You have to allow. Steam just floats off of boiling water. That's all it is. You just float. And if it doesn't work at first, you just keep floating. You just keep floating, just keep swimming, and it eventually will, because you will target and strengthen the intent to astrally project. And when your body, your mind, and your spirit realize that you're no longer having to force it, it's no longer trying to weld a big clunky club or a sword, that it's refined and that this is okay and part of your reality, it will happen. I guarantee it. Until then, image projection is, if that's what you got, use what you got. In time, your reality will adjust to allow this to be a reality. Okay? There we go. Begin to practice this. Very, very powerful. Very, very powerful. And there's a part 3, a part 4, a part 5, and part 6. At some point, we'll get there. Step by step by step.